Randomiser, Dale. You remember me, don't you?
Ah, yes, who could forget the Galactic Empress? How have you been?
Oh, all the better for finally seeing you under arrest. My armies have spent the last 3 years trying to track you down, you know?
Oh, really? Well, what did I ever do to you?
Why, Chris, you annoyed me that one time.
Oh, well, yes, there was that. Still, don't start gloating over your victory just yet. I'm sure that any second now, Marina will be along to save me, just like always.
Oh, you mean your little friend, lovely girl?
Oh, isn't she just?
Oh, yes, indeed. We had a nice long chat before she left.
Left?
Yes, in fact, she gave me a note for you. Oh, here it is. Dear Chris, I hate long goodbyes, so let's make this brief. Goodbye, good riddance, and if I never see you again, it'll be too soon. Love and kisses, Marina.
Oh, and that's for real, is it?
Afraid so. She's taken your eagle and gone home. Sorry.
Oh, well, I'm going to miss her.
Oh, you managed without her before. You'll manage without her again. That's part of your sentence.
Sentence?
Oh, yes, indeed. You see, this isn't just a friendly little catch-up. After our last meeting, I decided it would be deeply irresponsible to allow you to run free about the universe the way you have been. It may have taken 3 years to find you, but now it's time to put an end to your trek through the stars.
Yeah, no, you're leaning a little heavily on the fourth wall there.
Silence. I need to know where you are. Oh, not that I'm concerned for your well-being. I just want to be absolutely certain our paths won't cross again. Now, Marina told me you're from Earth, so you will now be sent back to that planet.
In exile?
In Slough. You'll be sent there in the year 2023 and, oh, I don't know, put in a cupboard somewhere. The important thing is that from now on, you will be stuck on Earth, far away from me and the rest of the universe.
I see. So that's it then. After 5 years, it's all finished. The randomizer is over.
Oh, no. You've still got 5 more years of episodes to watch yet. And anyway, I really do not want to have the stupid thing cluttering up my palace. So here, take it and go.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Oh, dropped it. Oh, that's just not good. It's going to need some repairs, I think. Oh, still, at least I've got a week to get it fixed. Well, before I go then, any chance of one last request?
To press the button for today's episode here, I've already done it. It's Joe 90, mission X-41. You see, I'm not completely heartless.
No, far from it, in fact. With Marina gone, I could use a new assistant. Any chance you might...
Get him out of here.
Oh, yes, well, just a thought. Thanks for everything!
Enjoy Slough!
I'll try!
Well, I've never visited, but I hear it's a very nice place.
Well, that was a lot of sudden and unexpected developments in the Randomiser universe there. I do hope you're all braced for what's to come, because we're ploughing on with another episode of Joe 90.
In the demonstration.
Because things may change, but the episodes will still always be here. The core of the show, such as it is, will never change. And we open with General Kwan. Scientist man are about to run a test on this building. Here comes a helijet, and here also is Captain Oka, once again playing a undercover WIN agent. Oddly enough, with the same voice as the last time he played a WIN agent in Attack of the Tiger. I suspect, I don't know where this is in production order compared to Attack of the Tiger. I imagine the puppet probably just had the same costume on and they said, oh, okay, he's fine, put him in. And the helijets are dropping canisters on this old, dilapidated building. And again, going back to what I said about how gorgeous these shows look in HD and how lucky we are to have them. I had this episode on VHS as a kid, so I remember it well. I could see that this was a building. I could see the sort of piles of debris and such around the place. Sort of junk piles and scrap piles. But in HD, the detail of what you can see there is superb.
Look now.
But having dropped the canisters on the roof and moved away, the helijets seem to have kick-started a disintegration of the old building. It's steaming and caving in.
Amazing. It's as though the whole building is being eaten away.
That's exactly what is happening, sir.
wouldn't say the visuals quite support that description, but it's still a powerful image.
On the actual molecular structure of that building.
Oh, there it goes.
The destruction seems to be increasing in intensity.
Yes.
Not really. The model is nearly gone.
Destroying everything in its path until it is arrested.
But yes, the Eastern Alliance, although I don't know if it is the Eastern Alliance, but certainly some Eastern naughty people have developed a
Once it is exposed to air,
everything-destroying molecule.
and our experiments have proved it will disintegrate practically anything.
Or virus, I should say. The X-41 virus.
Bring in antibody. A matter of moments, General. They have been standing by.
And this scientist guy, I quite like the voice for him. I think it's Gary Files. He's only in this one scene. But I just love that instantly we're in the middle of nowhere. Again, in very unfamiliar and somewhat dangerous territory. I don't quite understand how, considering this this virus destroys everything, how the helijet is safe to administer the antidote by hovering right over it. But the important thing is, Captain Oka is getting lots of pictures. And I'm sure he's Agent 88 or Agent 47 or something, but I'm just going to call him Captain Oka. It's safer and more fun.
Doctor, it has been a remarkable demonstration. With this kind of destructive power at our disposal, our country can become one of the most influential and feared in the world.
Oh, well, it's nice to have goals.
Can be certain your brilliant work will be put to good use.
Oh. So, as we return from the opening titles, we're at WIN HQ in London. It's only Sam Loover's car parked out the front, so I suppose we're having a meeting with Sam and Shane. Oh yes, they're looking at Captain Oka's snapshots. Although, interestingly, they're flopped.
Seen enough, Sam. Turn on the lights.
Compared to the angle that we saw it from. That's nice, though. The shadow of Sam Loover moving past the
Only isolated the X-4.
frame on the screen.
And what's more important, perfected the antibody.
No, there's no doubt about it. Agent 84's latest report.
84, okay. Was there an Agent 88?
Use it as a terror weapon any time they want.
You've got to hand it to them, Sam. They're clever.
Damn clever.
Well, he's managed to produce a small quantity of X-41, but he's still working on the antibody. It's all a question of time.
Time? That's something we haven't got.
So we've got some X-41. We can also demolish some old buildings now. I'm sure we have some lying around. But the important thing is,
We must have that antidote fast.
get the antidote, and fast. So we're off to this research centre. And who do we find working here? Well, we've already had Captain Oka. Let's bring in Captain Grey to play a lab assistant.
Yes. Yes, I understand.
And I think this is around the point where they discovered the Captain Grey puppet looks really good with glasses.
Of course we will. Yes. All right. We'll do what we can.
Professor Baxter is, getting an earful from
Goodbye.
WIN or Shane Weston, presumably.
Trouble, sir?
World intelligence. They want to know when we can give them the antibody.
I see.
Don't they realize what we're dealing with?
We've got all sorts of beakers and test tubes and retorts bubbling away in here.
Take it easy, sir. You're doing everything possible.
Take it easy. You can't rush these things.
Poor Professor Baxter, it's all getting on top of him at the moment.
Trial and error. One tiny step at a time.
Yes, I know, sir.
And here we come to an interesting, slightly unusual development with this story.
Shouldn't take it out of you.
Sir, is anything wrong?
It does add a nice ticking clock.
Fine.
Oh no,
Professor Baxter!
he's collapsed. And it's in shots like that where you get the close-up on the puppet's face as he lies there unconscious. You really get a sense of how much just effort and craftsmanship went into all of these puppet faces. And I think I've said before that I love the puppet, the more correctly proportioned puppets compared to the earlier stuff. They're just works of art, especially when you get up really close to them.
Mac, our last hope went with Baxter's collapse.
Oh dear, the entire world is screwed because poor old Baxter's fallen over.
Hawkins.
He's a good man, but Baxter's the only one who really understands the problem.
Baxter is God, Mac.
He's unconscious, Mac. The doctors don't really know what's wrong with him. Any day they could throw one of the deadliest weapons yet invented at the West. Our orders...
Maybe transfer him to a different hospital. See if there are any doctors who can work out what's wrong with him.
Sam, You said the only place we can get this antibody is from Chang's secret laboratory.
That's about the size of it.
Oh, Chang is the name of the scientist. Okay.
Inside hostile territory.
Joe wouldn't be alone. We have our Agent 84 on the spot.
With this exclusive report.
8-4, get the formula.
Dr.
Yeah, he's Captain Ogre. He can do what he wants. Captain Ogre's cool. He's hard. He's tough. He's resourceful.
Even if he did, he wouldn't know the formula if he saw it. We need someone...
And stupid, apparently.
Like Professor Baxter.
Exactly. Joe 90 with Professor Baxter's brain pattern.
Because Professor Baxter could recognize an unmarked formula cure thingy.
Hospital. I'll get over there right away.
Yes, Oh. The hospital turns out to be old stock footage from Captain Scarlet of a hotel in Paris. I think that's shot for Seek and Destroy.
He hasn't regained consciousness.
I see.
And here's something that goes back a way. I'm sure I mentioned it on the Randomiser before.
Yet, they're carrying out exhaustive tests.
Sam Louver has gone to see Professor Baxter in hospital.
Does regain consciousness, let me know when we...
It's a very serious time, of course, because he's not responding to treatment. He's unconscious. We will later discover that he has been infected by the X-41 virus. With all of this, grave, serious nature of the scene, you won't be surprised at all to hear Sam Louver is wearing his smiley face. Because men on the point of death, this just makes him happy. So happy. I also find it odd, and that was what I mentioned when Baxter collapsed.
I couldn't be more helpful.
Don't worry, Doctor. The journey wasn't...
The X-41 virus, for some reason, takes longer to work on humans than it does buildings. It just seemed like an instant destruction of anything physical. I don't know how Baxter would have been infected. Obviously, I don't want to see the puppet falling apart at the seams, but it does slightly undercut the fact that this is yet another world-threatening weapon that our Eastern enemies have developed. But Sam has managed to get the brain pattern. Presumably that was what he was so happy about, of Professor Baxter.
Joe, you now have the brain patterns of Professor Baxter and a top win agent.
Oh, okay.
Fine.
Anyone specific in mind? We'll just throw that in there.
100 hours at Win headquarters.
Again, I have to assume that all of the Win agents have been called one by one into Shane Weston's office to have their brain patterns recorded. Just for a little chat, oblivious to that antenna recording device on the ceiling that he has. So, Joe is brained up. Off to London.
How you doing, Sam?
Be with you in 18 minutes.
Professor McLean, do you read me?
I read you. We're on our way, Mr. Weston.
Great. Out.
We've got to do it. We've got to.
I was thinking recently about great Supermarionation voice actors, and I don't think a lot of them get as much love as, say, your Shane Rimmers and your Ed Bishops and even your Ray Barretts. David Healy is an underrated performer, I think. I love that moment there where he's like, we've got to do it. We've got to.
Name is Mission X-41.
Yeah, that's a good title. It's the name of the episode, in fact. I also realised recently that I absolutely love the way Shane Weston or any David Healy character says, that such and such must be destroyed. It's that must. There's so much strength and resolve behind that sound.
They rotate automatically to give maximum coverage, but there is one blind spot.
On the south perimeter fence?
Right. If you hit trouble, it could be your way out.
But probably isn't.
Be able to assist?
He's been fully briefed, he knows what to do, and he's got Joe's escape route organized.
And I don't think they'd have told him that there's a small child on the way, although oddly...
Pressurized canister?
I think Agent 84 is one of the few characters who has any sort of, or guest characters I should say, who has any sort of direct contact with Joe and doesn't seem bothered by the fact...
Don't worry. I'll bring back that formula.
Your plane's ready at the airport.
That this is a child.
Good luck, Joe.
They only communicate over the radio.
Thanks. Okay, Sam. Mission X-41 is underway.
Well, it has been for the last 13 minutes, but we're finally getting started. Okay, this is good stuff. And we are off on a World Air Force jet. Probably one that's been in several previous episodes.
Right.
I couldn't name one off the top of my head, but I do like, again, the slightly generic nature of all this World Air Force and World Army stuff that crops up in Scarlet and Joe, because it just makes the world feel far more real. Joe is being loaded aboard a pressurized canister.
Miles from target. Close eject compartment.
And that's not Shane Weston flying the plane. Again, having said that, I really admire and respect and enjoy David Healy's voice work in these shows. He's one of those voices that's impossible to disguise.
Eject on red light. 10 seconds.
But I don't think as a kid you really ever noticed that. It took me a long time to realise that I was hearing the same voices across all of these shows. Anyway, there goes Joe, booted out of the Air Force bomber into hostile territory. I would have to assume that in order for Joe to be dropped by parachute like this, the bomber was flying pretty much over the eastern sector. And a very nice, moody, atmospheric shot of Oka just watching the canister and the parachute come down. But of course, this was part of the plan. Apparently, Joe is looking to get caught, possibly. I'm not sure, actually. I may have misremembered that. I don't think it makes too much difference overall.
I know. Come in, please.
I'm a bit busy. Can I call you back?
I've landed safely.
Fine. I was told to give you every assistance.
Have you got the explosives?
Yes. When do you want me to create a diversion?
Not yet. Save that till I call for it.
Bring the dogs around to the right.
Oh, it's David Healy again. Also, having mentioned Attack of the Tiger and the Oka puppet playing another WAN agent in that story, it would have been nice, considering that they are the same voices as well as Puppet.
And keep listening on this waveband. I'm going...
For it to have been the same character. But I understand.
With your hands up.
That wouldn't have been possible the way these shows were broadcast.
We fire.
But he's been caught by the Real puppet. From Breakout, the one that I suspect might have been modelled on Mike Pratt.
Why? Yes, General.
And now, my favourite part of the episode...
Canister. A Western, little boy. How old are you, little boy?
Any scene with General Kwan and Joe, I just find inherently
What
funny.
are you doing here?
Spying?
I'm not sure
Spying?
if it's the
9-year-old boy.
the Jeremy Wilkins performance, just something unintentionally funny. It's good acting.
That's right, sir. I was ejected at 30...
Obviously, we have all this normal stuff of, oh, Joe is making it up, he's pretending. He can't really be the agent.
Go and find out who did come in that canister. If you don't find him, you will be shot.
But I just love this character in these scenes. All he ever tells his men is, if you don't do this, you will be shot.
I should like to talk to him.
And all he ever calls Joe is...
We will have a little chat.
Little boy.
Look for the real spy.
Or Western little boy.
Ready, sir. There was no one else in the canister.
Yes, of course. The West are using 9-year-old agents now. And what information did you come to get?
I'm very interested in those planes out.
And this is actually quite funny, which is rare for this
Miles an hour.
this character of Joe's.
Ceiling of 200,000 feet. And because of a new compression system, they have a range of 20,000 miles.
Then one of those could reach England non-stop.
Oh, yes. You must tell your government about it. I'm sure they always believe what their 9-year-old spies tell them.
Oh, yes, sir. They do.
I love that. And that's just beautifully played by the two actors. I don't know if they're even recording at the same time or if Len Jones was done separately. I heard a rumour that he was recorded separately from the other actors.
There is an agent somewhere near this base, and I want him found. Now. Well, little boy, we shall find your colleague, and now I will ask a guard to lock you in a room.
Ah, you will notice I said ask. You see, I do take notice of comments in suggestion box. Oh dear, yes. So, Joe is being locked in a room, very politely locked in a room by Kwan's guards. As we pan away from the base over towards the jungle, I presume Captain Oka is in there somewhere. Yeah, just kind of hanging around. And now Joe is just kind of hanging around in the room. But it is a very nice, well-furnished room. With lovely pink cushions and everything.
It's 8-4. Come in, 8-4.
And of course they've left him his radio.
Receiving you loud and clear. Where are you?
I'm locked in a room at the base, but I'll soon take care of the lock.
Oh.
I'm going to need your diversion, 8-4. Can you get near the storage tanks?
It won't be easy. The woods are thick with troops. But I'll make it somehow.
Because I'm Agent 84 and I'm so goddamn heroic.
Keep listening.
On my way. Out.
Yeah, I like the obviously, with Joe being the 90th agent, I think that's sort of reinforced in this episode, because he's called Agent 90. I like the idea that there are other WIN agents out there who aren't incompetent enough to get themselves captured and thrown in the fortress or just shot in the back or whatever. This is a rare WIN agent who actually survives the episode and isn't a traitor and doesn't get captured and is, just an all-round cool, good guy. Even though these shots of him crawling through the jungle floor do get a bit repetitive. Joe has escaped from his room with great ease. It looks like he just walked up to the door and pressed the button. Which, is one way to do it if the guards are so stupid that they didn't lock it.
Are you absolutely certain? Yes, General. The canister has been specially adapted. A grown man could not have come down in it. Then it must have been the boy.
Maybe he was sitting down.
Go and bring him here. And this time I will not be so tolerant.
Because last time I was very tolerant. I put him in the room with the pink cushions. No pink cushions this time. So Joe is... there's very minimal security in this base. He's made his way to the laboratory, which, considering this is a base in the eastern sector, you won't be surprised to find has the word laboratory written on it in English. But, how else are British kids of 1968-9 going to...
through the wire.
To understand what it is?
Speed it up if you can, 8-4. Be careful.
Okay. And the best of luck at your end.
Oh. See, they're providing each other moral support. It's nice. Oh, Joe shot the lock. That's right.
Sound the internal alarm. The boys escaped.
I think both of these guards have the same voice, or at least they've both been voiced by David Healy at various points in this episode. That may or may not be a blooper. Joe has found inside the lab. What can we see? What have we got? Bubbly liquid. A filing cabinet. A lever arch file. Several maps.
I want that boy found. Use every man you've got. Shoot, kill if necessary.
Oh, no. Not the Western little boy. Yes, Joe is taking photos now of various notes, which presumably relate to the cure. I'm just looking around at the lab in the background, seeing so many familiar bits of science equipment that I can't quite place from another episode.
I'm nearly in range.
For all I know, it's the same stuff as in Baxter's lab earlier. It would make sense.
He's not in D block.
Come on, let's try the laboratory area.
There, again, one puppet had a David Healy voice. I think the other was Keith Alexander with those two guards, and that's flopped from where they were in their last scene. It's voice-swapping puppet guard time. Captain Ogre has made his way into the base with a grenade. And as with Attack of the Tiger, I doubt any of this is actual, or any sort of actual language. Oh, behold the world's two most incompetent guards. But I imagine the voice actors would have had great fun just making random Eastern-sounding noises for wild tracks to be heard in the background. Anywho, Ogre has blown up one of the storage tanks. Very pleased with his handiwork there. And managed to distract the guards just before they got Joe.
Hope it wasn't too close.
Close enough, but don't worry about that. I've found what we're looking for. Mission complete.
Yay.
Great. Can you make it to the pickup area?
I don't need it, 8-4. I've got a quicker way home. You better get away while you can. And thanks. Out.
And that's it. 8-4 has gone.
Over there. And now what?
And this is cool as well. It's a lovely, beautifully directed moment that, where Quan is on the phone giving instructions into it, to his men, and he just glances out the window, and there's that beautiful double take.
After him! After him! Get the other planes airborne!
When he sees that Joe is sitting in the cockpit of one of the planes out there, ready to fly it home.
It's Sam Luver. On my way home, Sam. With the formula.
I would have to assume that the WIN agent whose brain pattern he borrowed is a pilot, because otherwise this could end badly.
Made it!
And there's no mention of those other planes catching up with Joe and shooting him down. Obviously he wasn't shot down because he's now safely home.
Uncle Sam?
And Mac has a cold.
Hey, Sab, how is Professor Baxter coming along?
Oh, he's just fine, man.
Because, you know, Joe's saved the world. He's brought home the cure for the killer virus. And Mac's only contribution to the story has been to
Inject him with the diluted antibody. Work like a charm.
Acquire a cold. And Baxter is going to be okay. I just waffled over that. Yes. Inject Baxter with a diluted version of the antibody. Now he's fine. Again, I still go back to the idea that maybe
Joe,
it's inconsistent. We have the building-destroying virus. It just kind of puts an old man into a coma.
and the cure for the common cold.
Oh, dear. Poor Mac.
Bless you, Dad.
Bless you, Mac.
Although I don't remember ever seeing a puppet sneezing in any other episode. That's quite an unusual thing to see one of them doing. A slightly, duff note on which to end the episode. But overall, Mission X-41, I found that a very enjoyable episode. Possibly for the wrong reasons. I suspect I am too fond of General Kwan and the performance of said character for my own good. But as I said, this was an episode I had on VHS back in the day. In fact, this is my famous ex-library rental Joe 90 tape that I have mentioned several times previously. With this episode, we've now covered every episode that was on that tape. With this, Test Flight, See You Down There, and The Birthday. So that's a little piece of my little Joe 90 history. We're done with that now. But on the whole, looking at this as its own, own thing, rather than memories of a 20-year-old VHS that's long since been thrown in a rubbish dump. I really enjoy that one. It's kind of the same story as Attack of the Tiger, and maybe the stakes aren't quite as stakey as they were in that episode. But yeah, I still really enjoy it. It's again, that's that isolated and dangerous Far East setting that I think works so well for this show. It's produced another decent episode. So yeah, as always, Joe 90 is good stuff. Mission X-41, an underrated favourite, I think, here.